Finnian, welcome to Armagh-gaa TV. Basically a few questions. In the first one, your career so far in Gaelic, how would you sum it up?
Well, I suppose now I'm 29 years of age, so I've had a lot of highs and a lot of lows. With Armagh, obviously, I would like to have won more things than I have at this point. I've won 2 Ulster titles and an All-Ireland under-21 or an Ulster under-21. But there was definitely opportunities to win more, and I suppose it's a wee bit disappointing that we haven't. But still, maybe 3 or 4 years left in it, so I'm looking forward to those next 3 or 4 years, and hopefully we can be more successful.
Of those titles you've just spoken about, is there any one in particular that really stands out?
Well, there's 2, I suppose. The All-Ireland under-21 was a great thing to win because we'd been together for maybe 2 or 3 years, and the year before we were beat by Antrim in the championship, and it was very disappointing for everybody involved. And to go on the next year then and win Ulster and then have such a long wait and end up winning the All-Ireland and I suppose winning it in style, playing a good brand of football was very enjoyable. And then winning the Ulster title in 2008 in Peter McDonald's first year, and there was a lot of boys who were sort of getting their first go on the senior team. It was a high point as well. So I would say they would probably be the 2 main things that were the most enjoyable.
And unfortunately every player probably suffers them, but low points, anyone in particular really stand out?
Well, any time you get beaten in the championship match, it's a low point because you're training from November, October. You're training on your own all year round, and then once you're beaten the championship and you're looking into a long summer, it's very disappointing. I suppose to get beat in 2008 by Wexford was a body blow because the match was won and they let it slip. And that was an All-Ireland semi-final against Tyrone on the table that time, I think also being beat in 2010 after having a good National League and beating Derry in the first round of the Championship and getting beat by Monaghan then a couple of weeks later in Casement Park, I was very disappointed because I thought we were well set up that year to do well, so they would be 2 that really stuck out.
And in terms of influences in your time, who would influence or who has influenced you?
Well, I suppose in 2 points at home, obviously my mother and father are a great influence on me, and my mother in particular. She spent a lot of time looking after me when I was younger in terms of a few problems with my feet, and that was a big thing for me. At my own club then there's a man, Patsy McGee, who would be a friend and a coach, and he has had a great influence on my career. And I suppose at Armagh, everybody really who you play with, I suppose Paul McGrain was somebody I looked up to when I was playing, and he was then a great influence when I come into the panel and would remain so.
As we can see, you're not too long in from training. What would be your most hated aspect of training, or is there a certain drill that you would hate in particular? Well,
anything really that's without the ball and head down and ass up, which is basically running. So we had a tough session the other night. Anything really that's long running, it's tough. Like all the boys will tell you that. Everybody enjoys playing football, and when there's no football in sight, then it's a long way road. Like so, I suppose any running. Mike McGurn used to do a 7-second drill, and it was complete torture.
And we're talking on the subject of tough opponents. Who would you say has been the toughest opponent you've ever marked?
Well, I suppose I marked Jason Sherlock one day up in Crossmaglen. He was very fast, and speed wouldn't necessarily be my best attribute. So that was a tough day at the office. So Jason Sherlock was definitely a top quality player. I marked Power Joyce one day as well, and he was just a wee bit too wily for me. The wily old fox kicked a couple of points off me. So, them 2 boys stand out. At this level, a lot of people are hard to watch, and hard marked. I suppose again, playing in defence, you're always going to be pitting against somebody who's particularly good. Tommy Freeman as well is a very good player. But the other thing is, at training, you're marking quality players as well. So boys sort of have to share about Jimmy Clark and Brian Mullen and boys like that there, otherwise you'd be ready for the road, you know, so they're all tough.
Oh, thanks very much, Finnian. Thank you.